Every year, millions of people travel for Hajj. It is one of the most significant spiritual journeys in the world. At the center of it all is the Kaaba, inside the Masjid al-Haram, a place that represents faith, unity, and devotion. To be clear from the beginning, this is not about questioning that spiritual experience. That part is sacred. But there is another part of the journey that is rarely discussed openly, and that is the system built around it. One of the most common things people hear is this: "Don't complain, you are a guest of Allah." And spiritually, that idea makes sense. Hajj requires patience, humility, and discipline. There is no question about that. But the issue begins when this idea is applied to everything surrounding the pilgrimage, not just the pilgrimage itself. Because today, many of the biggest challenges do not even happen during Hajj. They happen before people arrive. There are issues with booking systems, package selection, payments, and communication. A major example is the Nusuk app, which is now part of the official process for many pilgrims. People report things like difficulty securing packages, unclear availability, payment issues, and lack of updates or communication. Then there are travel groups and service providers involved in different countries who help manage logistics for pilgrims. But the experience is not always consistent. And this is the key point. None of these issues are part of Hajj itself. They are part of a system built around Hajj. So let's separate something clearly. Hajj itself is spiritual, but the systems around it are operational. And operational systems can be evaluated. They can be improved, and they can be held accountable. Now let's go back to the idea of being a guest of Allah. Spiritually, that is a powerful concept. It encourages humility and reminds people to stay grounded. And that is important. But here is where confusion often happens. In normal life, when you are a guest, you don't pay. You don't book packages, and you don't deal with service systems. But in Hajj today, many people are paying significant amounts, sometimes 10,000, 15,000, or even more for organized packages. So the question becomes, are they only guests, or are they also customers of a service system? Because when people are told, "Don't complain, you are a guest," that idea can unintentionally blur responsibility. And that matters. Because it can make it harder to talk about real issues like system failures, poor coordination, lack of communication, and inconsistent service. To be very clear, this is not about complaining in a negative way. It is about accountability. Because if something is a paid service, then it should be evaluated like one. So it helps to separate this into two layers. First, the spiritual layer. That is personal. That is where patience belongs, and that is where faith is tested. But then there is the operational layer. Apps, bookings, logistics, transport, coordination, and service delivery. That layer is not spiritual. It is human-made, and human-made systems should be open to feedback and improvement. This is not about criticizing the Kaaba. It is not about criticizing the meaning of Hajj. And it is not about disrespecting the spiritual experience. It is about separating the sacred from the systems built around it. Because the real issue is this: when service-related problems are dismissed as something people should not question, accountability becomes unclear. And when accountability becomes unclear, systems do not improve the way they should. So maybe the real question is not whether Hajj should be easy or difficult. It is not. It is already a deeply meaningful and demanding journey. The real question is, whether we should clearly separate spiritual patience from system performance. Because you can fully respect the sacred nature of Hajj while still expecting better systems around it. And that distinction matters more than people often say out loud.